Good morning, everyone. Out with Dan Sprinkles again. Just hit up, we've got, what, 2 garage sales?
2.
First one, no luck. Second one, some sweet demos for the original Xbox. No joke, the guy says, I got like some Xbox demos, and I'm like, okay, yippee. And I think there's a couple Nintendos and Super Nintendos inside. So he goes inside, pulls out a bin. I got an NES, a Super Nintendo, and a stack of some games back there. The guy kind of knew what he had. He had actually another Nintendo, another Super Nintendo. I did not get greedy and just buy out everything, mainly because he said he wanted to maybe play some of them still. And I got the box for $70. The systems are a little dirty, a little questionable, but hopefully, he said that they do work. They're just probably dirty, so we'll see. But hey, $70. There's like a Donkey Kong Country 3 in there. Wow, it's getting dark in here. There we go. Hi everyone. Good morning. Good second sale so far. At this garage sale right over here, Dan, in the dark, picked up what?
This PlayStation 2 bag.
It's very nice. It's in good condition. How much?
$2.
$2, and you can store pizzas in there.
Yep.
You can store all your manly items. But no, you're picking it up because you're going to use it as like a bag.
Yeah, it's like a backpack, sort of.
That's cool.
Extra storage.
Back in this house right here, actually the entire house is a big garage sale. Lots of older person items, had that nice smell to it. But for $2, a factory sealed Clue, like 70s version, I think 72 or so.
72.
Really nice shape, brand new.
Complete in box.
Yes, for
sealed.
Sure. So $2 is definitely a good score on that.
Yeah.
I'm not a board game aficionado, and neither is he, but it was one of those things where it's like you just don't leave for $2. So maybe we're gonna open it up and play an old brand new Clue later on.
Break the seal.
For a solid $1.50, picked up a Frank. They're pretty rare to find these days. You only come across maybe like once a year. But he's back from college. He graduated. He did not drop out at the very end.
Nope.
And you got a job down here, so he's local. Now the garage sale season, it's so dark today. It's overcast. Now the garage sale season's kind of picking back up. Probably we'll see him a little bit more often. We did just buy some games at this sale right over here. No, not at you.
No, me.
Not at you.
It's all about me.
$1 each. I got Marvel Ultimate Alliance on the PS2. He got some...
Star Wars Episode 3, Second Sight, True Crime Streets of New York, and Prince of Persia.
And then he grabbed...
Dragon Ball Sagas and a really beat-up copy of Oddworld.
Yeah, it's just not the best, but she had just sold all the Nintendo games, so we missed out on that. Oh well. Sprinkles here, he collects VHS tapes. He got Fern Gully and Short Circuit. For how much?
$0.
He tried
Free.
to pay $1 for them.
Tried.
The woman's like, fuck you.
I don't want your money.
Said take them.
Take them. I don't want these anymore, so
No problems there.
Not a photo. Not a photo. We dropped Frank off. What did he pick up? He picked up a paper cutter, and that was about it. And then those couple PS2 games that he grabbed earlier, or Xbox. I think they were Xbox. One Xbox. Anyways, bye Frank. He's leaving now. He has to warm up his car for about 5 minutes. Yep. Or it doesn't run.
Or it doesn't work.
Yeah, so another good day garage sale. And that Clue, the sealed Clue, I think was for $2 was
a good deal.
The great deal of the day. But I will show you what those games were in that box, and then I got some other stuff to show you, and of course the game giveaway. So stay tuned for the following clips. Say bye.
Bye.
After I got home from game hunting, I took my old man nap, slept for about an hour, so I feel a little bit re-energized, ready to go. I'm going to show you the other stuff I got today. We went to some pawn shops, picked up a few things, then I'll do the game giveaway as always, and then I have a huge box of some really cool stuff that I got from a guy, which I'll get to towards the end of the video. First though, I want to mention that I want to try to make these pickup videos a little bit more interesting for you guys to watch, and I know it can get boring seeing like, hey, I bought this week. It's sort of similar to the same stuff I bought last week, especially if it's like newer titles for like PS4 or Xbox One. So I'm going to try to blow through those a little quicker and focus on more of like the unique things and try to actually give a little bit more insight onto maybe the gameplay or the value or that kind of thing. Because I want these videos to be entertaining and maybe a little bit informative as well. So I will go through these ones pretty quick because these are just newer titles that I got at pawn shops. For $5, a factory-sealed copy of Sunset's Overdrive on Xbox One. It is a fun game. It did kind of get some hate when it came out. I mean, it's a really hard game to explain. I've heard some people say, like my friend Dan was saying, it's kind of like Tony Hawk mixed with this action game and has crazy monsters in it. It reminded me of like Jet Grind Radio a little bit. But it's a fun game. Check it out. And then we got Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. I paid $10 for that. Kind of messed up on this one because I thought that it said $19.99 on the sticker, and I'm like, I'll pay $10 for it. And he goes, okay, good, because it says $10. And I was like, oh, whoops. I kind of blew by a chance to negotiate there. But whatever, $10 is still a decent deal for that. And then I got Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball Xenoverse for $10, another pawn shop. I already showed that. That was Ultimate Alliance for $1 at a garage sale. One more pawn shop find, $5 for Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, the only physical Call of Duty that came out on the Vita. And then that second garage sale we went to, they started off so good. I'm like, wow, man, some retro Nintendo stuff. 2 sales into this day, fantastic. And then it never really went anywhere after that. I did give my phone number to a few people throughout the day that said they had some N64 games or something like that, and they would maybe contact me later on. We'll see. That barely ever happens. But we have, these are the games that came in that lot for $70. Mortal Kombat 3, Wolverine, I always say this wrong, Adamantium Rage. There we go. That's how I said it right. We have Donkey Kong Country 3, which, that's, I mean, all the DK games, I guess, on the Super Nintendo go for around like that $20, but DK3 goes for a little bit more than that now. Superman, which I barely have ever found on the NES. It's a little rough label. It's got some stains there, but that game, it's right when you start off in the newspaper office, and you can talk to a few people there, but you can jump like 15 feet in the air in the newspaper office. It's just really awkward. Like, the first thing you get to do is just jump like 15 feet up into the ceiling fans. It's a little odd. We have a really beat-up copy of Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants. Top label has damage and stuff there. Double Dragon. We got Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Another odd game starts off, and you can just immediately punch Roger in the face, go out in the street, punch women and men in the face. Very odd way. If you don't have any idea what to do, it's just punch people. The Black Bass. Original TMNT. First DuckTales. And, of course, Mario 3. And then we have a very clean NES, which does work. Tested that out. And then a fairly clean SNES, just a little bit of like yellowing to the side there. Then I got a Wii remote and a nunchuck. This was really late in the day, probably around 1 o'clock or so. Picked these up for a total of $4, so $2 each. And that was it for the pickups from technically today. Let's go ahead and do the random game giveaway right now. I have good old pals Snaggle Fruits and Mr. Tickle here. Mr. Tickle, you can take a break today. You got beat up last week, so you can just chill up there and look creepy. Snaggle Fruits is the designated ass-whooping creature. I got some blocks of wood. We're going to bash his head together for the drum roll today, so let me get a good angle on him. All right, here we go. The winner of this week's random game on whatever system they want is Nightcrawler 33. Congratulations, Nightcrawler 33. Please send me a personal message either here on YouTube or on the Facebook fan page. The link to that is in the About section down below. Let me know what system you want your game to be on and your shipping address, and I'll have that mailed out to you soon. I actually have everything mailed out that's supposed to be mailed out right now, so people, you should be getting packages soon. As always, there is a random game giveaway starting right now. Wow, that was loud. All you have to do is be subscribed, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up this video, and leave a comment down below. Comment can be about whatever you want, but the suggestion this week is, what are you good at? Like, are you good at whistling, or doing impersonations, or can you run really fast? I'm good at juggling, which I guess I should show you. I mean, I got 2 blocks of wood and a Snaggle Fruits here, but pretty good at juggling. I am a decent people person. I can talk to people, communicate well. I've worked in a lot of retail jobs, and That's about it, I guess. That's all I'm good at. There you go. Anyways, that's your suggestion. Just leave it down below, but you can comment about whatever. Just be subscribed, thumbs up the video, and leave a comment. You have until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Friday, and the winner is always announced in the Sunday pickup video, and the winner is always selected from a random number generator in the comment section. Okay, now for this box of stuff. There is a lot of stuff in here. A lot of it is handheld related. I'm not going to show you every single item. I'm just going to sort of do the highlight reel here for some of the better items. I got this stuff from a guy named George. He is getting out of collecting, but he's still into video games. Like, he still wants to play certain things. He's just not looking to, like, build a collection anymore. So I got most of his stuff. He did have a few other things that shipping just didn't make sense for, like the cost-wise. Mainly other systems, but we did a trade, part trade and part cash. I don't know, I don't know if you really want me to say price-wise or anything like that, but roughly, let's say like 500-ish trade and cash, like all together, all in. I won't break it down in case you didn't want me to. Anyways, I sent him a bunch of like 360 games, or was it PS3 games. Wow. PS3 games, a 3DS XL, a few other things to, as part of the trade. We have some good DS titles, complete in box. Metroid Prime Hunters. There's that new, they just have the pre-orders for the new Metroid on the 3DS coming out. They just popped up fairly recently. We have the 3 Castlevanias on the system, Dawn of Sorrow, Order of Ecclesia, and Portrait of Ruin. I always give these games good praise and recommend people to check them out because we don't get cool side-scroller, old-school Castlevania games anymore. Shit, we might even get any Castlevania games anytime soon with the way Konami is. Then we have another great Konami game. Unfortunately, Contra 4, great, really fun title. Probably not going to see any more like physical Contra games for quite a while. I think that was like the last physical Contra game that came out, unless I can't remember when like some of the Konami classics came out, and if they had a Contra that was after that. Anyways. We have some GameCube titles. We have Star Fox Adventures. We got the new one comes out this week on the Wii U. And we have Super Monkey Ball 2. We have a lot of people that are always looking for that game. It's a very cheap game, under $10 usually, but fun. Bunch of mini games and stuff on it. Super Smash Bros. Melee. That one's complete. I've been finding a lot of disc-only copies recently, but nice to get a complete one. Just disc only of Dance Dance Mario Mix. That'll be one that flies off the shelf there. There's also a disc only of Custom Robo. We have complete F-Zero GX, another series that's just sort of died. I originally was going to grab this one for my collection, which, that's another thing I want to mention. If you notice, I have stuff going on shelves. I've been pulling out 3 or 4 bins every few days from storage, trying to get things set up in here. Collection game room video will be coming at some point. I don't have an exact time. I'd like to get the room set up as much as I can, but keep an eye out in the future for that. I just did my Game Boy shelves. If you notice, they're sort of tilted up, so the games can actually stand straight up, and you can like flip through them, sort of like a CD rack, like this. And fall on the floor if you're not paying attention to what you're doing. But I figured that's the best way I could display them, where you can kind of easily go through them, and they're in alphabetical order. I did just pick this up from my collection recently. This is a very hard-to-find Game Boy game, Tailgater. Goes for in the $100-ish range or so. So if you happen to find that in a pile of Game Boy games and you're like, wow, that looks like a piece of shit. It has an alligator on the front. I never heard of it or whatever. Pick it up, because it's actually a fun little platformer game, and it goes for like around $100. So keep an eye out for Tailgater on the Game Boy. Back to this. I was going to pick this up for my collection. Tom and Jerry Wore the Whiskers. Fortunately, no manual. I'm sort of a weird stickler like that, where, yeah, I could just hold on to it until maybe someday I find it with the manual, but I kind of see it more in the sense of I could get rid of this now and put this towards something else that is complete that I want right now, instead of filling the shelves with stuff that I'm like, I have to get another version at some point. That's just me. That's how I go. This isn't really interesting. Vice City. We have the Game Boy Player with a Game Boy Player disc that's not broken. I seem to always get cracked or really scratched up Game Boy Player discs, but this one is in good shape. Couple of handheld systems here, a Atomic Purple Game Boy Color, and the Silver Pocket. For the longest time in the wild, I never found Game Boy Pockets. I'm talking like 2 years I went where I never found a single one, and then over the course of the last 2 years, I probably found like 10 or so out in the wild, all different colors. But that seemed to be one of the more obscure items, at least in my area in like Central Florida, to find at garage sales. A really good stack of some Super Nintendo games here. Yoshi's Island. He didn't really have a lot of Super Nintendo games. This is pretty much what he had. Mario Kart. Probably only ever had this game like 2 times in my life. Rock and Roll Racing. A little bit of an odd one there. Always surprised that doesn't go for more. For how uncommon it is, I would expect that to be closer to like a $70, $80, $90 game, but it's not. It's like half of that. Supernova. Star Fox, and then Turtles 4, Turtles in Time. There's that new Turtles game coming out made by Platinum Games, coming out actually on like PS3, 360, PS4, and Xbox One. Looks to be a really fun beat 'em up, and Platinum Games makes some awesome, fighty kind of games like that. So keep an eye out for that if you're a fan of the Turtles. We have a copy of Contra in like mint condition, which I thought had the manual. Oh no, it doesn't have the manual. Never mind. That doesn't have the manual. Turtles 3, copy of Mike Tyson Punch-Out, Turtles 2, Life Force. So he had really good taste in NES and Super Nintendo games. Original Turtles, Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse, Castlevania 1, and Castlevania 2. He was a big fan of Castlevania, apparently, because this is one of the best games in here. A complete copy of Castlevania Bloodlines. This was actually not his copy. His copy was over here on the shelf. Alphabetical, right there. This was his copy. His copy was in nicer shape than mine. Mine had a few little dents and marks on it, so I swapped them out. But it's still in really nice shape. Bloodlines, definitely not my favorite Castlevania, but probably worth what it is worth, which is around like $80 or so, maybe a little bit more of that, like in mint condition now, because it's the only Castlevania that came out on the Genesis system in North America, at least. Another Grand Theft Auto. Those are just sort of like throw-ins. A really nice shape. Original Game Boy with the battery cover, and even the little what is this port actually called? Extension connector. I find a lot of Game Boys that are missing the little extension connector port on it. Totally makes the value 7,000 times more. No, it doesn't. And then, like I said, there's a lot of handheld games in here. Lots of Game Boy games. In fact, there's an entire bag of what I would call worse than Snickle Fritz, Snaggle Fruits. That's where his damn name came from. He's buried down there. But he came from something worse than Snickle Fritz. And it's like some sports titles and stuff on the Game Boy. There's maybe like 20 of them in there. But then there were a lot of good ones. The Castlevania's on there. The best one being, obviously, Legends, which is a pretty hard to find game. I did find one time for 50 cents at a garage sale. While a couple were fighting about their divorce that was about to happen, and they were selling their stuff and trying to argue with who was going to get what money. That was a fun garage sale. That was awkward as shit, and I got out of there as quick as I could. But I did get Castlevania Legends for 50 cents there. Battletoads on the Game Boy, Super RC Pro-Am, lots of just solid titles, and then a bunch of solid Game Boy Advance games. Castlevania's on it, R-Type 3, Final Fight 1. There is a ton of games falling on the floor. There are a ton of good ports on the GBA, of a lot of them being like Super Nintendo-esque games, a lot of platformers and brawlers like the Final Fight and stuff, and they're cheap. Most of them are like under $10. So if you are a fan of a lot of that era, sort of the Super Nintendo style games or whatever, then GBA is a great system to own for sure. Just because they're cheap and you can usually find either exact ports or even maybe a little bit of enhanced ports, like a lot of the Final Fantasy games on there. And then the best system in here, out of all the handheld stuff, was a Sega Nomad. in pretty damn good shape, and it had a very important part. It's a little battery pack on the back, so you can actually use it as a portable and take it on the go. You can also plug this into the TV and plug the controller into it and use it that way, so that was kind of a cool function on the Sega Nomad. I love this system. I also love the Turbo Express because I have a thing for consoles that you can take your home games and pop them in a portable and just go, and very few like actual legit companies, like the actual game companies, made a system like that. That is it, guys. Like I said, there's a bunch of other random games in there, but I'm not going to go through every single Game Boy game. Thank you for watching. All you have to do to enter the random game giveaway is be subscribed, thumbs up the video, and leave a comment down below. I love you all. There'll be a VGS episode this coming Wednesday. Watch it. Peace!